My gaming PC is now powered by the ASUS TUF Gaming Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 graphics card. That's a bit of a mouthful. Here's why I chose it, and some general impressions and observations. 2020 was not a good time to build a PC, as most of the drool-worthy components were almost impossible to buy. A combination of the pandemic, supply issues, unprecedented demand, Brexit, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. 2021 isn't looking much better, as for instance the new 5000 series AMD CPUs are tough to get, particularly the bang-for-buck 5600X and the powerhouse 5900X and 5950X. So I'm very fortunate to say that I now have an Nvidia 3080, courtesy of ASUS. To use its very long full name, it's the ASUS TUF Gaming Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 10GB. And it was supposed to cost around £600 when it launched in September 2020. But it has since hit £900 or more, although stock vanishes instantly. Cheers, scalpers. You mother At its non-inflated price, the 3080 occupies a sweet spot, more capable than the 3060 Ti, but not as eye-wateringly expensive as the top-of-the-range 3090 and its 24GB of memory. For 1080p and 1440p, the 3080 is overkill unless you want mad fast frame rates. It's more for intensive 4K processing. The reason I badgered ASUS to get the 3080 is because I game in 4K a lot of the time, and basically, I want my PC to be as low effort as my Xbox Series X. I just want to play a game with settings maxed out or very close, and enjoy 60 frames per second or higher if the game allows, or I'm happy with a lower resolution. So yeah, low maintenance gaming is the dream, and so far it's been just that. I took out the 1080 Ti with its overly fat Accelero 4 Extreme Cooler thing, slotted the ASUS Nvidia 3080 up top because it will actually fit there, moved my AVerMedia Live Gamer 4K capture card down to the bottom, and that was pretty much it. Now, heat is the killer of PC components and can affect performance, so I always give my PC a spring clean when changing a component. That is the rule. So I bust out the microfiber cloth and remove dust from all fan blades and the CPU fan radiator, anywhere it has built up. I also have an awesome dust blower thing because I refuse to buy and waste those compressed air cans. It's amazing, blast those vents and nooks and crannies like a champion.
Kind of like nooks and crannies.
Nooks and crannies, yes.
I digress. The 3080 is a thirsty card when it comes to power. If it was a car, it would be a high-powered V8 or V12. The ASUS and other rival cards usually require two 8-pin cables as a result, which is no worry as the Corsair power supply unit I have comes with 6+2 connector cables, and my 1080 Ti was already using said cable. With the GeForce software already installed, I just updated the driver and then chose Optimize All for all games. Before that, I had to endure some weirdly low resolution, but this is normal until you run the software. I'll be honest, SnowRunner has never looked so good, nor has Forza Horizon 4. But it's not just the level of detail, it's the ability to push settings higher and enjoy a consistent frame rate. If you've seen maxed out Microsoft Flight Simulator at 1080p, it looks so good that it can compete with higher resolutions. Quick specs rundown for those as nerdy as me. The ASUS TUF 3080 gaming mode runs at 1710 MHz or 1740 MHz in OC mode, overclock in case you're wondering. Video memory is 10GB of GDDR6X, enough for most games and applications, but undoubtedly the Ti version will up that figure, as we have seen with the 3060 Ti. The RTX bit in the name means it can do ray tracing, a fancy thing that makes reflections more realistic. It's cool to see, although can be overdone a bit, making it less realistic and therefore not so useful. But anyway, it has potential and quite a few games are already using it. The CUDA core total, meanwhile, is 8,704 compared to the 3090's 10,496. For comparison, an Xbox Series X can manage 12 teraflops and 3,382 CUDA cores, The PS5 has 10 teraflops. The 3080 is 29.7 teraflops, although it's not a direct comparison in many ways. It's kind of apples and oranges. Connectivity-wise, you have 2 HDMI 2.1 ports and 3 DisplayPort 1.4a. HDMI 2.1, as seen on the new Xbox and PlayStation, allows 4K 120Hz gaming, or up to 8K, but that's pretty niche. So how is it so far? Well, games are far superior to look at, and everything is more consistent. Unfortunately for me, my other dream component mentioned in my last PC video is a Series 5000 AMD processor. I've noticed that my still pretty nippy Ryzen 1700 has lazy moments, and I see frame rate drops, which harms the smoothness. Now, you're more likely to grow a third nipple than get a 5000 series CPU right now, in the UK at least. So either I will have to lower my expectations, or wait patiently. I would also probably benefit from a new motherboard that supports faster RAM and faster component speeds generally, but I make videos about digital trucks and cars, so I need to watch the pounds. Now, what I love about the 3080 and the new AMD processors is that together you should be good to do anything. Video editing, live streaming, 3D modeling, photo adjustment, all snappy as you like and all running at once, to be honest. As far as a real-world PC experience goes, you really won't see much of a difference beyond this point, except in extreme circumstances or when chasing benchmark scores. Will the 3080 run Microsoft Flight Simulator maxed out? Don't be ridiculous, nothing can. But other PC games? The 3080 will do a glorious job, and that's even without the likes of DLSS and game optimization by developers. While it can be tempting to spend a fortune, at some point you have to call it a day and enjoy what you have and just stop following the latest and greatest. With these two components, you would be set for years. Of course, not everyone can afford more than £1,000 in components, I get that. And truth be told, the Xbox Series X and PS5 are great value alternatives if you want 4K gaming. It's really not easy to match the performance with a £500 gaming PC, as demonstrated by a lot of YouTubers. But then a gaming PC can do everything, and it is the king, graphically speaking. I can remember being amazed by 2D graphics back in the day. Now we have ray tracing and graphics cards capable of 4K. To put that into perspective, that's 8,294,400 pixels on screen and refreshed many times a second. The paddle in Pong had 28 pixels. You can even have multiple screens, so it's more like you're driving a race car than ever. Honestly, never have gamers been more spoiled. Also, yeah, the 3080 looks right at home in my Anades case, especially as it has minimal RGB lighting. I like some bling, not too much that you get magpies smacking into your window. This particular 3080 has a logo that shifts between colors, which can be controlled using ASUS and Corsair's IQ software. Reminds me of the Transformers logo. Generally, the design is nice and discreet, not too much branding, which I love, but some may hate. As for cooling, I've not had a chance to really push those 3 80mm fans for very long. But my software says temperatures are all low, and to be honest, other PC-specific publications and YouTube channels have shown the ASUS TUF Gaming is one of the better value cards with decent cooling and noise performance. Nerd fact, the middle fan now rotates the other direction to the 2 outside fans in a bid to reduce turbulence and noise. So any negatives of the ASUS TUF 3080? Well, as I said, getting one is tough, and it's gone up in price because of low supply and high demand. There is something to be said for trying to be a little patient. I also wish the RGB lighting was a little less faffy to control. But generally, man, I'm happy to have this graphics card in my case. The ASUS is a great value choice. For me, it was between this and the equivalently priced MSI. Personally, I think the higher end 3080s are a bit too close to the price of the 3090 and likely the 3080 Ti variant whenever it is announced. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and like, as you guys usually do. Best of luck trying to buy components if that's your plan for 2021. I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.